Once every 4 years, a special breed of creature awakens in the United States of America. It lies in unconscious slumber for most of its life, awakening briefly for a few fleeting moments in autumn. Its name? The periodical constituent cicada. It only awakens for the presidential elections, held seasonally to determine which leader will preside over their large group. The cicadas congregate to cast their chirps for their preferred candidate. And then, after they've voted, the cicadas resume their hibernation below ground, awaiting their next opportunity to emerge and vote again, another 4 years later. Meanwhile, the candidate that got the most chirps will become president and pursue policies for several uninterrupted years before coming up again for re-election. And while this is happening, most cicadas will be fast asleep. Which is kind of dangerous if you think about it, because that could mean that when they reawaken, they're in a world they no longer recognize. But that's just what happens in a country that's made up of cicadas. So what if these cicadas remained awake, alert, and engaged every day? What if these cicadas had not been cicadas at all? Because the truth is, humans sometimes act like cicadas. But it doesn't have to be that way. We vote every 4 years, but then many of us take a hiatus from activism in between. By remaining above ground, we could have a voice in the decisions made by our local leaders, government agencies, the president, and even corporations. Seriously, all organizations are capable of being influenced. That's because they're staffed by people, and people are vulnerable to bad publicity. Hearing from consumers or constituents, or just non-cicadas like you, can be really powerful. So if you want to wield influence, here are 3 steps you can take to avoid being a cicada. Step 1. Stay informed. That may seem obvious, but if you don't know what's going on, you can't change it. You keep up to date by subscribing to daily email news alerts or downloading an app that shows you the top news stories each morning. Step 2. Stay involved. Join a civic organization, local council, or even discussion group in your neighborhood. And don't forget local government meetings. They're almost always open to the public, and they provide a direct way to influence entire communities in big ways. Finally, speak out. Talk to your friends, neighbors, and family. You might be surprised by how many other people are thinking what you're thinking, or would agree once they heard your side of the story, and you might be able to do some waking up of other cicadas, humans, in the process. You can even create a petition and run your own campaign to make sure that your voice is heard. This year, 2016, is important. It's forecast to be another year of immense disquiet, as the cicadas are predicted to emerge again for another presidential contest. Make a commitment to not be a cicada during this coming election cycle. Seriously, we need you here, awake, seeking change and sharing your voice all the time, all year round. Think of the changes we could bring about if every single one of us held politicians and bureaucrats and corporations accountable every day. Are you ready? Share what you'll do to stave off cicada temptation by using the hashtag #Don'tBeACicada on social media.